But first, an update kind of on Aaron Rodgers. He went on the Pat McAfee Show yesterday, formerly of the SportsGrid network, and we thought maybe, just maybe, in that 10-plus minute interview, he would say where he is going to play football next season. He did not. In fact, he kind of avoided the topic altogether. He said he is still contemplating retirement, focusing on his personal life. It's not about the money. He has told teams that he would take a generous pay cut and play for only $10 million. Only $10 million. Quote, I'm open to anything and attached to nothing. Retirement could still be a possibility. Focus on personal life. Shut up, dude. Yeah. Shut up. You're 41 years. Shut up.
Yeah, no, look, let's get to the basis of this whole argument right now. If he really wanted to play football, he'd be on a team right now. He's either trying to hold out hostage for somehow to get Minnesota and backstab J.J. McCarthy and get him to be traded so he can take over Minnesota, or again, he just doesn't care. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers are telling him right now, look, we got a quality offense with some weapons over here. We just need a quarterback. We got a defense. We have a history of winning football games. We haven't won a Super Bowl in a while. Maybe you could be the missing key and get lightning in a bottle, have a good season. We can make a run into the playoffs. And obviously that's not nearly good enough for Aaron Rodgers, or he'd already be there, because the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't coming out with Mike Tomlin is a very opinionated head coach and a good way, and it's refreshing, which he's not saying we're not taking Aaron Rodgers. Like, they clearly want Aaron Rodgers. The ownership group with the Rooneys. They're saying, like, hey, we think we're in a good spot with Aaron Rodgers. Do you understand what you're talking about now, Pittsburgh Steelers? You're in a good spot, a quarterback with absolutely no options in the NFL, and you're trying to convince him to play quarterback for you. Do you hear how that sounds? It should be Aaron Rodgers actually already moving, as I said, to Pittsburgh, even if he didn't have a job with them, and holding a sign outside the Steelers, practice facility, we'll work for free. I just want to play football. And it's not happening right now. But also, the Jets move, Ben, right, where he flies cross country. How many times do we take a look at like a sales meeting? It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know if I still want Aaron Rodgers to be my quarterback, but I'm going to get him in the room, and I just want to feel the vibes. Like Aaron Rodgers walked in that building with Aaron Glenn and said, I'm your quarterback. You need me. I need you. Let's figure this out, and let's get after it for the next 2 years. I'll even help you if you draft a quarterback, but we can win here in New York. And instead, Aaron Rodgers probably showed up, put his feet on the desk, and is like, you need me here, but I'm not sure I want to be here. And then, Aaron Glenn goes, get the GM in here. We're going in a different direction. Get out of here. Which is why Aaron Rodgers goes, you know what? You could have told me that on the phone. No, that was actually a sales opportunity for him to actually get in the room with Aaron Glenn and sell him on the notion that he still should be that quarterback, not the other way around. Love what the Jets did.
Aaron Rodgers tried to get us to pity him yesterday by saying the Jets forced him to fly cross country on his own dime. Shut up, Aaron. You've made more than $200 million over your career. You can fly commercial if it's really that difficult. To be in a meeting with the new Jets regime to basically tell the Jets that he was still interested in playing in New York despite a disastrous and failure of 2 seasons with gangrene, to basically be told, you are not a part of our plan. Good for Aaron Glenn. Good for Darren Muji. He said, oh my God, could have just been a phone call or an email. You remember how things ended in Green Bay, where Brian Gutekunst did not meet with him face-to-face to tell him about their plans of drafting Jordan Love, but tried to call him, and how Aaron Rodgers had such a big problem with that? You can't have it both ways, Aaron. Would you rather have a phone call or an in-person meeting? Shut up. Can we go back to the B-roll really quick? I think it was one of the great things. Yeah, right there. Start it right there. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers on the golf course, how he is spending his offseason, and then right to Aaron Rodgers in a New York Jets uniform. I think that just looked, there it is.
Yeah,
really great kind of mix of the two, I would think, with the personal life and the offseason more important for Aaron Rodgers. I guess, DRS, we're spending an entire segment on him. We need to stop giving this guy airtime. We need to stop giving this guy space. He is 41 years old. He's been in the NFL for 20 years. Go retire into the darkness. Allow every NFL franchise to focus on their future, of which Aaron Rodgers should not be part. For the Steelers, by the way, who we heard from Cam Hayward early in the offseason, there's no sales pitch to convince Aaron Rodgers to come to Pittsburgh at this stage of his career. If I am a Steelers player, if I am Mike Tomlin, I am looking at all of this charade and saying to myself, I don't want to touch this guy with a 10-foot pole. I don't want him in our locker room. I don't want him in our organization. And he's not really going to make a difference, even if he's at his absolute best here. Ridiculous.
Because he's also, he's being passive aggressive with every single job opportunity. We understand that he wanted to be in Minnesota, but he should have just said to the rest of the league, like, it's Minnesota or bust for me. Let me try to convince them. He didn't win that battle with Minnesota. They're going with J.J. McCarthy, and now he's weighing his options. The one thing that you understand is you hear professional athletes, for the most part, talk about this. If you are contemplating retirement, Ben, you're already retired in your mind at that point. Like, there is a refreshment period. Like, I don't know if I can do another NFL season. You sit at home for a week, play video games, go on vacation, you come back and be like, you know what, man? I love this game. I'm going to get back in the weight room. I'm going to start to train. We're not getting that from Aaron Rodgers. Like, if you're still at this point of your career where you're contemplating what makes sense when a starting job is on the table with a quality organization like the Steelers, and you're still holding out, but holding out for what at this point? It all makes sense here. The stones are beginning to turn over where it's like, maybe you should be retired at this point, but I have a feeling it's still Aaron Rodgers. Somebody's going to get intrigued, like the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to hold out. But also understand this. If the Pittsburgh Steelers go round number one quarterback, Aaron Rodgers can no longer be your quarterback. He's not the guy that's, you know what, let me go to Pittsburgh. I'm already unhappy. It took me 6 months to sign with you. Now I'm supposed to train this backup quarterback like he's my son who's going to take my job from me. That can't happen either. So the Pittsburgh Steelers going quarterback in the draft early, that should seal the fate of Aaron Rodgers throughout the rest of the NFL.
In DRS, exactly 1 week from today, we'll know what the Pittsburgh Steelers elected to do in the opening round of the NFL draft. The Steelers' price to draft Shedeur Sanders getting shorter by the day. Now plus 390 to select Shedeur Sanders, second best number, $2.50 behind the New Orleans Saints at plus 140. Plus 270 for the Steelers to go quarterback with their first pick. They currently select number 21 overall. I think they'll be aggressive in the first round to try to draft that QB of the future, whose name will not be Aaron Rodgers. More on the early line up next.